She's muted.
Unmute. Now you're unmuted.
I'm unmuted.
You need to start video. There you are.
Yay. Now, how do I talk? If I have a
I
remark?
just left you unmuted. So,
Unmuted. Okay.
yeah, so you're able to talk.
Gosh, is that a little lady there? Oops. There's Tom.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tom.
Everybody hear me okay?
No. How do I turn up the volume? Because we don't want to lose anything if I touch it wrong. Here, Tom.
If you could, you can move this around if you want to set it. I don't know.
That's fine.
Okay.
So I'm assuming we're waiting for the applicants.
Right.
Let me promote them. Christy's here.
No, I think I shut off my volume.
No, we can hear you, Corlu.
Okay, thank you. I can't hear you though very well.
Mary and Sharon, you're muted.
I'm unmuted now. I could hear Corlu good. Hi, Sharon.
I cannot hear you well, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Hi, everyone.
Let me see what I can do.
Yeah, that's better. I think you just have to be closer. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Tom.
Morning, Christy Caput.
Good morning. I'm actually Jessica Schoening.
Oh,
Christy is
okay.
my wife, but that's fine.
All right. So Jessica is appearing and not Christy, or?
Not Christy, correct.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Can I just go see it?
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Well,
okay.
it's 10 o'clock.
Now I'm okay.
Now you can
If
hear it?
everybody's
Yes.
ready, I'll open the meeting. This is the George.
Tom, I can't hear you very well.
Pardon me?
I can't hear you very well. I don't.
Really?
Maybe I'm the only one.
Can everybody
I
hear
can.
me all right?
Yes.
Now it's better.
Okay. The Georgetown Board of Adjustment for Tuesday, January 12th, 10 a.m. is declared open. Has everybody seen the agenda for the meeting, and has everybody had a copy of the prior meeting's
You guys
minutes?
hear that feedback? you guys
Do you
hear
guys hear
feedback?
feedback?
Because I don't know if it's,
You don't? Okay.
never mind. Sorry, Tom. I was hearing this humongous feedback and okay, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
All right. So, shall I start over? Okay.
No, you're good. You can go. Just go.
All right.
where you were.
So, is everybody, are there any additions to the agenda? Hearing none, that's approved. And the minutes, we need to approve the minutes of the previous meeting of September 23rd, 2020. Have you all received a copy of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Any corrections? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 23rd, 2020 as written.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Vote aye.
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 No? Motion carries. The minutes are approved. I'll give the roll call for members. Tom Elliott, that's me, I'm present. Mary Riddle Clark,
Here.
Cora Lou Anderson,
Here.
and Sharon Racino.
Here.
And of course, we have one opening. Also present is Kent Brown, Town Administrator, Jennifer Yovsky, the Town Clerk, and Joan Eaton is, I see, present. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you wish
Tom.
to speak?
No, I just came if there were questions or if anyone wanted clarification on anything. I just thought I would
Okay.
be here.
All right. Is there anyone else participating? No.
We do have one person in the audience under attendee, Deanne Powell.
Okay. Deanne?
Yeah. I can promote her to panelist if you want when it's an appropriate time.
Okay. Does she wish to have an opportunity to speak?
I'm not sure. I'll ask her in the chat.
Okay. And all right, we'll go ahead and go forward with the application of, and please correct if I'm saying your names improperly, Jessica Shaning and Christy Caput, fence height on and around the property at 1600 Main Street in the Meadows Residential District. So with that, I think everybody's familiar with the paperwork that we've received, and I in advance will thank Jessica for allowing Mary and I and Cora Lou to visit the property Sunday, and I hope we didn't upset anything in the house or in the yard. I don't think we did, but thank you for allowing us to view the fenced property.
Of course.
So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jessica. Jessica, if you will raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear under penalty of law to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, would you state your name and your address?
Jessica Schoening, 1600 Main Street.
All right,
Georgetown.
you are one of the applicants.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and tell us anything that you would like us to consider.
Of course. So I do want to apologize. When I started this project, we had just moved into the house. I haven't done a lot of construction on my own, but I usually do hire a general contractor, and did not realize that we were skipping steps involved in the process. I've done lots of construction here in Austin, and they have a lot of really strict building requirements as well. And every time I've hired a general contractor, they've kind of gone through all of that. So I apologize that this wasn't completed beforehand. But we did, we have an 8-foot cedar fence here in Austin, and that's kind of what we were building there. We have 2 large Huskitas. They're Husky Akita mix. And there's lots of elevations and a boulder in the backyard and things. And so our main goal was to kind of contain them and, build a fence around the perimeter. The old fence on the back was kind of falling apart. We have 2 retaining walls on the, I guess if you walk out at the house on the left side. And so of course it gets pretty high over there. And then the front fence had been torn down during construction. And so we wanted to put that back up as well. And so that's kind of where we went with it. The back is an unmaintained road that somebody has parked a camper right behind our property. And so that part of the fence did go a little bit higher to kind of block that, but I'm hopeful that that will get moved off of the street. I haven't even had time to figure out that, but there were people camping there this summer on that road. And so, that can come down to 8 feet as well. And hopefully that camper can go elsewhere. But the only other thing back there is kind of a car lot. And so I don't think it really impedes, anything behind the property. And then I'm happy to bring the front facing part of the fence down to the 6 feet regulation as well. The left side is all different levels, just kind of based on the grade. And so that side's just a little bit unique due to the retaining walls and the different elevations.
All right, are there any questions that anybody would like to ask the witness? I have a couple.
Uh-huh.
Were any of the pre-existing fences as high as the new fences?
So the fence, I can't say that I ever measured the fence on the back. It was kind of falling down. It had that same gate entrance on the back where you can kind of drive through it to the road. But I did not measure it. And then we did kind of level the lot back there where the hot tub is. And so that also, that was on top of where that now retaining wall is. The neighbor still has their fence on the other side of our fence up on top of the left side where those 2 retaining walls are. And then the neighbors on the right still have their fence. Both of those, I think, belong to both of our neighbors. And so we built right in front of it, not to.
You're talking about the north and the northeast sides and the south side.
Yes. And then the front fence was torn down during construction, so I don't know how tall that was.
Okay.
So can I just clarify? This is Sharon. Can I just clarify? So, Jessica, you built 2 new fences on the north and south side then, correct? The other 2 fences belong to your neighbors?
Yes, I believe so. And we didn't want to mess with, their property or their fences. And so we just built right on the sides of it.
Okay, thanks.
I've never, I find no referrals at all to the fence on the south side. So do I assume that that's not an issue? I'm asking Kent, if do you know the answer to that? There's no
Any fence that is request. I'm sorry, Tom.
There's no.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Side fence at all.
I don't have any request, and it wasn't in Jessica's original, I don't believe, regarding the south side fence. If it is higher than 6 feet, it would need a variance as well.
I think it is over 6 feet at least.
It is.
I looked at that and it looked like it was at least 7 feet.
If anything is over 6 feet, it would need a variance.
All right.
And
Okay.
if it's included in this variance request, then the same information was applied. I just looked regarding what the pictures and what the description was included in the application.
All right. then another question that I had, and when we were over there, we did look at the north side fence, the fence that's runs facing north, that runs east and west generally, and it looked like perhaps the neighboring topography, the exterior topography from the neighbor's side, it's higher than the applicant's yard. And so I'm wondering if that does not exceed 6 feet from the exterior topography, is that a violation of the code? Do you understand?
What the code says, and I should have brought it up earlier, or included in the staff report.
Yeah.
It says, absent a duly approved variance, no fence or wall shall exceed 6 feet in height as measured from the pre-existing natural grade.
Right.
So that's what depends as far as the pre-existing natural grade.
Yeah, on which side?
Because of the retaining walls, and because the pre-existing fence was on top of those retaining walls, you know, you could see 6 feet above those retaining walls because that matches the neighbor's fence.
Okay.
But if it's taller than 6 feet from that grade, then that would require a variance approval.
Right. Okay.
Can I ask a quick question, or Jennifer? Did we receive any responses or comments at all from the neighbors in the neighborhood? Nothing. Okay.
Nothing? Okay.
No, we didn't.
All right. Are there any other questions?
I have a question for Joan, actually.
Okay.
Thanks for signing in, Joan.
Yeah.
How does the DRC, I mean, Joan knows a lot about the code and the DRC code. So when I drove by the property, I noticed elevation fences.
Sharon, you just cut out right at the beginning of your question. Would you start over?
Sorry, yeah.
That's okay.
I noticed that the fences on the west elevation are set back just a tiny bit from the front facade.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious what the rule is on those fences that sit beyond the facade.
So technically, we don't consider that a front fence since it is to the side and just slightly back from the front edge of the house. So we're considering that as a side fence,
So
which
that,
would be allowed the 6 foot height.
okay, thank you.
So
Yeah.
that's the fence, you're talking about the west fence facing the front of the house?
Yes.
There are 2 gates there.
Yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
that's really, we consider that as the side fence, which would be allowed the 6 foot height.
Okay,
And in particular, we also do have the exception. Normally, we don't do a 6 foot fence everywhere except in the case of dogs as well. So there's 2 reasons that would be fine for a 6 foot fence.
Well, I'm glad you cleared that up. That was a major issue.
Oh, really?
I'm still not sure which fence you're speaking of, the one on the back property that you're speaking
No.
of, or the one on the,
The one you can see from the street. It's
well,
beside.
you can see quite a few of them from the street.
Well, okay, so if you're right in front of the house and it's to the left of the house, it
Mhm.
parallel to the street.
How tall is that one? That one you're talking about that faces the street? Is it over 6 feet?
Yeah, it's 8 right now.
It's 8 feet.
8. Okay.
Which is on the pictures
This one.
is the very first one. 1 and 2.
Are there any other questions? Or we'll go into discussion now. It seems to me,
Actually, I have a few questions, but I'm getting there.
okay, go ahead.
No, that's the east side fence. Okay, and then
That's those sides.
This is,
Uh, Thank you. This one over here.
okay, so this one right here.
Mm. Yeah,
So they exceed 4 feet though, which is the front side.
yeah, well, that's, they were talking about this fence. And that is, since it's behind the front facade of the house,
Okay. What's the
It-
street?
this is
Yeah,
Main
right.
Street.
So this is behind.
This is behind the front facade of the house, so that it's considered a side fence rather than a front fence. So 6 feet would be allowed instead of 4 feet.
Okay.
But the request is for 8 feet,
Yeah,
which is higher than that 6.
exactly.
But she mentioned in her application some caveat with that. So,
Thank you, thank you.
Did you have any other questions, Corlo?
I just, of course, I'm amazed at the height of the fences. I truly am. And I mean, it's a beautiful home and so forth, but the fences, I think once we let these type of fences go, we don't have any repercussion for anybody else that wants to build a fence of this size. And I have a real problem. Once you give a variance, you give variances from then on. And why do you have rules and regs?
Have we moved to comments? Because I would agree with Coraloo. I think 6 feet is appropriate. It's a beautiful fence. I'd love a fence that height at my house, but obviously we have rules that we've been following here for a long time. 6 feet is certainly appropriate. The only consideration would be on the backside. I mean, that property is unique because it backs to the junkyard. But I would agree with Coraloo, 6 feet.
I would agree in the front that it would be 6 feet.
Well,
What did you say?
I'm sorry?
I was trying, Ellen, what did she say? I did.
I said that I would agree. I was thinking it should be 4, but since the new information, I think the facing of the street should be 6 feet instead of.
Well, that
Would
means
be to
everybody
code.
else can build a 6 foot fence though. They can build a 6 foot fence. Anyone on that street can build a 6 foot fence.
Well, because it's in back of the facade.
Anybody can do that as long as it's beyond the facade.
Right.
And there are some that
If you
do.
build a front fence of over 4 feet, that's considered a side fence. So it can be
Okay.
6 feet. Right?
I guess.
Well, I'm going to cite the town ordinance 17.20.010 subsection 7 states, absent a duly approved variance, no fence or wall shall exceed 6 feet in height measured from the pre-existing natural grade, except that in a front yard, fences or walls shall not exceed 4 feet in height from the pre-existing natural grade. So I'm going to go through the findings that we need to make, and we will vote on each one.
Tom,
Yes.
Tom, I would like to have you relate your thinking power on the back fence, the one that's so high. Even though I know it covers up the junkyard, but if everybody would consider something with the junkyard, and I know that's been there for a while, but I think this is something the town needs to address too, is getting that cleared. But at this point,
I agree.
I'm just wondering, what is the height on that fence?
I agree. The town needs to address that issue from that property owner, but I don't think that it's sufficient. In my opinion, it's not sufficient to allow a fence of over 6 feet.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I'm just saying, we need, so that can be a 6 foot, and we all figured it was about 8 foot, correct?
8 or 10, it looked pretty high.
Okay.
I would disagree though. I mean, that property and those property owners along that back side, they are really up against an eyesore back there. And I would entertain the thought that maybe everyone who lives over there should be able to have a taller fence if the town can't tackle the junkyard back there. I mean, I wouldn't want to, you know, look at that every day from my deck, and they have a beautiful deck over there. It's a real problem.
Well, I think we all agree with that statement, but I looked at that property. We're talking about the property where the camper trailer is, right?
Behind the trailer, yeah.
Is that right, Christy?
The right behind, so behind the house is the trailer that our neighbors have parked illegally, but behind that is a junkyard.
It's like a car graveyard.
It's owned by
It's not
Buckley's.
the adjacent property.
Buckley's?
The Buckley's.
Yeah.
It's not the adjacent property.
It's right across the cul-de-sac. So the back fence
Right.
is on what is that? Silver Cloud? What?
Silver Clouds
Silver
Circle.
Cloud. And then right on the opposite side of Silver Cloud is a junkyard that's probably an acre or two. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
And that needs to be addressed by the town, in my opinion.
It's been there for 50 years.
Well, let's not let it be there for 51. Okay,
Do we know how tall that back fence is that goes to, I know you're not Christy, I forget.
It's okay, Jessica. It's
Jessica.
supposed to be 8 feet. Right now, on 2 of the parts, they had added some extra boards because of that trailer right there. But it all kind of comes down. They haven't finished it because it got stopped at the end. So there's a lot of kind of misshapen boards.
We did,
Things
I don't
aren't-
think we knew that. Okay.
Yeah, things aren't kind of done. They were obviously told to stop as soon as they found out about the permitting issues and everything.
but the
The
plan
front
was
still
to
has
make
a lot of boards that are kind of sticking up also.
but it is over 6 feet, and that was the plan to make
8
it.
feet was the plan, yes.
Okay,
But it can only be allowed to be 6 foot, correct?
correct. All right. Are we ready to go through our findings? Is there any further discussion?
I have one more question, I guess, of the board. Sharon, are you thinking that the back only could be like 7 and then the rest of it in conform, or can we do that kind of, just as a thought?
I was thinking an 8-foot fence on that back side because of the eyesore would be appropriate, and we could grant such a variance to all property owners along there until the town did make a move to clean that up. I mean, I don't know what the zoning allows right now back there. They may have a variance to keep those cars there. I have no idea, honestly. But I was thinking 8 feet would be appropriate along the back. There's no other homes back there. They're not blocking anything. There's an unmaintained cul-de-sac that is a right of way, but nobody really drives back there
Just one house.
unless they're a property owner.
If that property was ever cleared, though, it would be a building site, is that correct? The
It could be.
junkyard?
Could be.
It could be.
I mean,
Good.
anything's possible. They won't like to look at an 8-foot fence.
You're breaking
Anyway.
up, Mary.
Okay,
So would you repeat that?
I just thought if it was a building lot, that puts eventually that puts an extra thought on it as well.
Sharon, are you?
Can't, oops, I'm not running.
Sharon, looking at the map that we have, are you talking only about the east side fence, or are you talking about
Only-
the east
only-
side and the northeast side?
Only the east side. I
The
mean,
east
the
side.
north side fence is way too high. It goes over the 6-foot fence that's already existing. I would say that should come down to 6. they should all come down to 6. I would say only the backside could stay at 8 because of the junkyard back there. And a variance could be granted to all other homeowners, you know, if they wanted to put something taller up as well.
I think once you give that variance, though, then it's stuck. I think we have to have some sort of a note on that, that if the junkyard is no longer, then their fences have to come down. I mean,
Sure.
I hate giving variances because they stay and stay and stay. And then everybody fights to have that. And then consequently, we've lost any control over maintaining what we were supposed to be maintaining.
I would agree with that. I mean, I would think that's very much acceptable. You know, if the Buckleys ever sold that land or, and, you know, homes were built.
Well, I'd
like to hear what Kent has to say.
Kent?
What, I'm just waiting for you, Tom, is all. I just want to say that the variance request before you is the only variance that can be approved by the Board of Adjustment at this point. We obviously couldn't go on to other property owners. The only question before you is what's been presented.
Right.
So,
and I have to say, I'm reluctant to approve a higher fence simply because there's probably a violation of the town code by a neighbor. And I think it's not sufficient excuse in my mind to allow an 8-foot or to allow higher than a 6-foot fence simply to block the view. So I think it would set a precedent for the neighborhood that I'm not sure we're to do. So any further discussion? I'm going to go through the requirements that we must, the findings of fact that we need to go through according to 17.32.020 C2 A through G. And I'm going to go through them each individually. Subsection A, that there are unique physical circumstances or conditions such as irregularity, narrowness, or shallowness of the lot, or other physical conditions peculiar to the affected property. In my own opinion, the answer to that is yes, there are. Anybody disagree? Okay. So do you agree with the finding of yes to subsection 1 or A, I mean?
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to find that in the packet. I'm sorry. Where are you reading?
Me too.
Oh.
I am too.
If we were,
I gotcha. Okay, I'm there. I see it. It's on page 11 of 44. Is that right?
doesn't have a doesn't have a page number.
I have it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's in there.
There it is. No, sorry,
I'm-
just too many papers. Thank you, Madeira.
Do we have it?
I
I'm
do
not
now.
sure about the,
On the-
I'm not sure about the yes. If we were granting the variance, that certainly would be the best answer.
Yeah. We're looking on the page that has the heading staff comments.
No, I'm
looking
looking.
at the findings page, findings of variance.
Yeah,
I
Georgetown Board.
provided,
So does everybody?
Tom, there's
Yes, Kent?
two different things. One was part of the staff report. I included the questions. It's on the 4th page of the staff report, and I should bring up your PDF to tell you which page it is. But it goes through each of the requirements that you're going through, the 8 requirements, 7 requirements,
7.
and whether, according to staff, it's yes, no, or whether it satisfied the requirement or not.
have
And
no page.
it did say the staff surmised that it was, there were some of those that were answered yes, that it does satisfy that requirement, although overall it doesn't meet all the requirements.
So what did
And
we,
that's,
what was considered yes? Just the unique physical topography of,
Yes, the
okay.
unique physical conditions of the
And,
property.
and like the retaining walls and whatnot? Okay.
Right. And then there's 7 questions and each of them have to be answered yes.
All right.
To agree to the
In each of
variance.
these to agree to the variance. Yeah. You guys gone through this, multiple
Right.
times.
So-
And what Jennifer is showing on the screen right now is the blank, not the staff report, but what you guys fill out,
Right.
because all I filled out was according to staff. This is according to the board and how they answer the questions. And the first one there says unique physical circumstances or conditions.
All right. I
And that's what Tom read.
To the first paragraph. The second paragraph, does the applicant's property have unusual circumstances or conditions that do not exist throughout the neighborhood or district in which the property is located?
That's true. I don't know. I think there are a lot of people down there that have some of the same physical beings and circumstances. Because that whole area is that each place is unique to itself.
I would have to agree. I think our answer to that is no.
I agree.
Sharon, Mary?
I say no.
The only unique circumstance or unusual circumstance would be that retaining wall, but we've already addressed that in the first question. So I could agree no on that. It's a pretty standard lot, and if we're not taking the junkyard into consideration, then I would agree it's no.
So the answer is no.
It is for me.
Okay. Do such physical circumstances or conditions mean the property cannot reasonably be developed in conformity with the provisions of Title 17 of the Municipal Code, Land Use Regulations? I say no.
I would agree.
I agree.
Who didn't?
I also say no.
Is that all 4 of us? Yeah. I think we better say our name followed by.
Okay. Corlu, no.
Mary, no.
Sharon, no.
Tom, no. Has such unnecessary hardship been created by the applicant? No, I don't think it's.
Then yes.
Well, I mean, the fence was put up without, building permit or the contractor didn't know the rules, maybe.
Right.
So
I would say yes.
Well,
I mean, the physical being, it was there, but
what unnecessary hardship are we looking at? I thought this was referring to the property with or without the fence. So has the applicant created any unnecessary hardship on their own aside from building the fence?
Oh.
That's what I
No,
thought that should be. And I
it
don't,
refers to the fence.
yeah, relating to the fence, yes, because they built it, but
So it's a yes.
I think it's a no.
I think it's a yes.
If it's related to the fence, it's a yes.
Yes, I agree. Okay, that's fine.
Did you skip one? Did you do number 3, Tom? The due to such physical circumstances?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Okay,
We put NO.
all right,
Yes,
okay.
All right, so the answer to D is yes.
correct.
We're considering the fence. The building.
Right, only.
All right. Will the variance as requested alter the essential character of the neighborhood or district in which the property is located, or substantially or permanently impair the appropriate use of development of adjacent property.
Yes.
I believe.
Say yes and no. Yes to the front part, no to the back.
I'm saying.
I mean,
yeah.
yes to the front of the sentence, and then permanently impair the appropriate use of the adjacent property. I don't, it, there it doesn't.
Well, the front is already compliant at 6 feet. Is that correct?
It is. So I think we have to separate this.
I do too.
The west fence facing the front of the property does not alter the essential character of the neighborhood, but the 6 foot, the fences in excess of 6 feet, except for that one, in my opinion, do alter the essential character of the neighborhood and impair the use of development of the adjacent property.
Well, hold on, I'm sorry. I think the fence in the front is over 6 feet. Am I wrong there?
They're all 8 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, yes,
Correct. So then we just, they all have to come down to 6.
I stand corrected. I was thinking it was 6 feet when I said that. That we all agree it should be 6 feet. Or,
Exactly. Instead of 4.
right.
Right.
Okay.
So to my answer.
No, what'd you just say, Barry? You said it has to be 6 feet instead of 4. You mean?
No,
it
I
needs
just
some-
said because we don't have to worry about the 4 feet anymore.
Right.
Right.
So I think the answer in my opinion, is yes.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Yes.
Does everybody agree?
Yes.
Are we on the 5th one? The 5th question?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just wondering which thank you.
Okay. Is the variance as requested the minimum variance that will afford relief and the least modification possible of the title provisions which are in question?
I say no.
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 Do we all agree the answer to that is no?
Yes.
We agree.
Yes.
Sorry, this is confusing.
This is tricky.
And finally, does the variance as requested permit development in a flood hazard area, in a geologic hazard area, or on a lot having a slope in excess of 30%, contrary to the provisions for such development as cited in Title 17? I think our answer should be not applicable.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, there are additional findings for variances from the sign code. I've read those and I'd like to ask Kent, I don't think any of these are applicable because we're not.
They don't apply in this case. That's just included on the form.
Thank you.
So then
Now
did
you
we,
just have an overall.
Right.
did we have to go back up to C or did we do C? Like, Mary, did you say we skipped one?
I thought we skipped one because I only said no to 2, but
Oh,
I'm not sure. I thought it was 3, but
well, let's go.
I have 3 no's, 4 no's. I have 3 no's.
maybe it was 2.
Number 2 is a no. Number 3 is a no.
Yes,
Okay.
that's how I voted.
And
Hard
number
to
6
next-
is a no.
Right.
Number 2, 3, and 6. No.
No.
And 1,
1 is
4, and
also
5.
no.
Is 1 also a no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Correct?
One
Correct.
Correct?
I know, I thought I had that down as a yes.
We had one as
I
a
did
yes.
too.
As long as we answered all 7, I thought Mary had said we had skipped one.
I thought we skipped one, but I don't think so.
Okay.
So what should number 1 be? I have it as a yes.
Number 1 should
Yeah.
be yes.
Yeah.
I believe we agreed to yes.
Yes, correct,
Number 2, no.
correct.
Number C, no. D,
Correct.
yes. E,
Correct.
yes. F, no, and G, not applicable.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Yay. Agreed.
Okay. So now we are at the point where we are, the following motions may be considered. Do you all have that?
No, I'm getting there. Give me just a moment, please.
On the back of the
Give
staff,
me a moment also.
there are three numbered motions that may be considered.
I wish I knew what page it was.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's on the back of
So-
the page that says staff comments.
I don't have that. Mine are on single pages. Is it the
Hold
zoning
on,
variant?
Carolou.
Okay. I'm just waiting for the zoning.
Can we put it on the, can we show it?
Is it this one, the zoning one?
Shoot.
Many papers, too many.
Yeah, let me grab it and look at it. Staff report.
I'm there. I'm ready. It's page 8 of the packet.
I'm not numbered.
No, you would just have to count from the front. I'm on a computer. I don't have a paper copy.
It's on the back of the staff comments.
Right.
Sorry, everybody. I will try to number these and get it better next time.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you.
You bet.
Oh,
You have it, Jennifer?
oh, wow. I have it now. Thank you. Oh,
I don't have it yet.
Okay. Does everybody, do the 4 members have it?
I have it.
I just have it, but I haven't read it.
Well, the following motions may be considered. I move to approve, I move to approve with conditions, or I move to deny. Is there anyone prepared to make one of those motions?
I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
Number 1 mentions the 4 feet. Should we approve with conditions the number 2 because we aren't,
I think we can exclude that part because it doesn't apply.
What part are
Okay.
you going to exclude?
how are you going to exclude it if the motion looks like a statute?
These are just sample motions. We can come up with our own.
Well, yeah, the number 3 is, we may be, I don't know, there's the 4 feet thing in it. Anyway,
Well, from where I'm looking, I think number 3 applies, but we can exclude.
it does apply if you consider that it's not the front, it's deemed a
Right.
side yard. Okay,
What about the back though, with the high fences on the wall?
Well, then we have to move to approve with conditions. If we're going to allow any of the fence to be more than 6 feet, it has to be approved or approved with conditions.
Well, and they are all above 6 feet there on the back and the side.
They are all above 6 feet. I'm gonna move to deny the variance request of Jessica Shaning and Christy Cabot at 1600 Main Street to exceed the 6 feet in height as measured from the pre-existing natural grade, period.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, vote yes. Aye.
Aye, yes. Is Cora Lou?
I'm thinking. I would say aye, I guess.
I didn't hear you.
Wait a minute. I agree with what you said on number 3. Stop after pre-existing natural grade, period.
Okay. So you're voting yes?
Correct. I'm moving, yes, I move to deny.
So as I understand it, we have unanimously voted yes to deny the variance request. Correct?
That's correct. But Jessica, I would urge you to, try to work with the town to try to get some of that cleaned up in the back. I don't know if that has any effect on why you would have gone with such a large fence. But I think we all agree on the Board of Adjustment that something should be done with the junkyard in the back if at all possible. So,
Absolutely. I
Or-
agree.
And
Or plant trees to grow quickly.
Well, she is going to do that. She stated that.
Mhm.
We appreciate that.
the other thing is, Jessica, is then we still have to go back to DRC as far as the actual design of the fence.
Okay.
But this concludes as far as the height of the fence
Right.
Okay.
taken care of. So,
Well, at least
And
at least the dogs can stay in. So,
Jessica, I appreciate you being here and trying to be understanding with us. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Thank you, guys.
all right. Is there anything further we need to consider?
I don't think so at this point, Tom.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn at 10:48 a.m.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Okay. There's a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, vote aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion adjourned. Thank you, Jessica, for staying with us this time.
Of course.
And you have a lovely,
Like
you
it.
have a lovely home, and we hope that you will be able to go along with this request.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Aye.
you.
Bye,
Bye now.
everybody.
Bye.
Hey, Kent,
Okay, how do I turn?
oh boy, Kent, would you stay on for a sec? I had a question about something else.